This is one of the biggest churches, well, village churches I think I've ever been in. It's absolutely huge. Welcome to Friskney in Lincolnshire, a place which claims to be England, Britain, and possibly Europe's largest and biggest village. You might have thought that the biggest village in Europe would be near some capital, but Friskney is literally in the middle of nowhere, 13 miles from the nearest town and 8 miles south of Skegness, which is often referred to as Britain's worst seaside resort every single year. It's an ancient village, and it's not always been relatively close to the sea. There was once a prehistoric forest here, and close by a Stone Age encampment and settlement was also found. This place was even inhabited by the Romans, and it was where people obtained salt through the sea, and allegedly even an aqueduct existed here during the Roman period. Friskney is a very historic place, and it over the years saw a huge amount of change, especially during the medieval period. There have been efforts to drain the land, and people here were not happy about this, and huge amounts of wildlife also disappeared. It was also here where huge farming occurred, and also fishing took place with cockles and shrimps gathered locally. But one thing that has stood the test of time is the Church of All Saints in Friskney. However, how is this one of the largest villages in the whole of Britain? Well, that's literally because the land changed over time, and the fact that there are acres and acres of farmland that exist around Friskney, and all of these pieces of land linked to the village. In fact, the actual Friskney sign to come into the village is miles down the road. Driving out of here, there's just miles and miles of farmland, beautiful countryside. In fact, if you look on Rightmove, look at the houses for sale here, they all have relatively big gardens. What Friskney means by the fact it's Europe's biggest village is because it claims to have the biggest amount of land within the village boundaries. Today the village has a church hall, obviously a church, 2 pubs, a village shop which has a post office inside, and a number of sports clubs for people to join. It's like most quaint villages across Britain, has basic and standard amenities and nothing too fancy. What makes Friskney a village and not a town is because only 1,563 people live here, according to an outdated census, and it's definitely not a town. A town is more densely populated as an area, and you certainly couldn't call this place densely populated at all. But yeah, Friskney, Europe's biggest village. You'll probably never come here at all, but yeah, you've learnt something new and interesting in the last 5 minutes. Well, 3 minutes.